when he was young, when the blood is hot, he says that Reb Nachman had many nisyonos. He was tempted many times. But he was tempted many times, but he never gave in. Many times, Adlei Nispor, countless times, he was tempted by carnal lust, but he never gave it, despite the fact he was in great danger. And he put down his lust many, many times, and overcame his evil inclination. Interestingly, Reb Nachman finishes by saying, "Va'afal pikein lo yoy misrachek atzmai pam shenis devroich me'an esoyin." That he didn't try afterwards to run away from the test, from the temptation. Rak adarabah. On the contrary, he wanted to be tempted. He used to pray to God that God should present him with tests, with temptations. For he was strong in his mind. He was strong in his mind that surely he would not rebel against the Shem Yisbarach. How is it possible that he should do an Aveira Chas v'Sholom v'yaver el rotzna Hashem Yisbarach, and he should violate the will of Hashem Yisbarach unless he should become Meshuga at that time? So that's really striking. Apparently, he wanted to have nisyonos because he thought it was good for Avodah to overcome his carnal inclination, his lust, his Yetzer Hara over and over. But it is striking that he said he wanted to have nisyonos, and he prayed to God to send him nisyonos. But I just want to point out, we all know that it would be very unusual for Chassidish Rebbe to talk in this way to anybody. He apparently told his Talmud that he was tested in this manner with sexual desire many times, and he sought to root it out of him. And in fact, he said, he considered this a very basic thing. He said, that the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, told him that I'll leave you everything. You could be great and a tzaddik and have all kinds of good qualities. Just that he should fall in with the sexual thing. And Reb Nachman said, no, the opposite. He gives up on everything. But that thing, I will not give up from breaking it. I must break it. And that's how he conducted himself in the beginning. It was only to break this desire. He didn't look out to break the desire for eating. On the contrary, at the beginning he used to eat a lot. A lot more than most people. He used to eat a lot. And he said that he would bring all his lust and all his desire into the desire for eating, which is relatively innocent. And afterwards he broke also that desire for food. And he had many struggles and work and wars and temptations with himself before he broke this general lust. And many prayers and beseechings and weepings, v'sichois and talkings with God. As he used to pray and beg, and pour out his heart before Hashem Yisbarach, with many kinds of beseechments, upiyusim, that Hashem Yisbarach should help him in order to be saved from this lust. And he said, apparently, there's a Messiah in Breslau. A tradition in Breslau that Reb Nachman said, that he really wanted to completely destroy his carnal desire. That he should have no carnal desire whatsoever. It is impossible. He wasn't able to destroy this carnal desire completely because it is impossible to change human nature. It is impossible to change human nature. That anything that's pleasing unto God? Isn't it better that I should just be encouraged and jump to the next mitzvah? Go high. Rejoice in God. Jump to the next mitzvah. Towards what he sees as his basic inclinations. He experiences quite a bit of self-disgust at his base inclinations. He's thought out in terms of what he's going to do. He insists on seeking to overcome his corporeality and to seek a higher spiritual state and a greater closeness to God. First, he's thought out. First, he's trying to tamp down, to get under his control, to overcome the carnal lust. And because he wants to do that, he puts tremendous energy into that, and he knows that his aspect of physical desire needs some outlet, so he lets himself go with eating. He lets himself go and he eats a lot more than most other people. Then, once he feels that he has overcome his carnal lust, then he works on overcoming. His desire for food. Very serious. He's at war. You see the bitterness of the struggle. Sometimes we see the tzaddik in all his perfection. There's a lot of chassidische Torah and a lot of chassidische Torah. This kind of tzaddik, that kind of tzaddik. The tzaddik can do this, the tzaddik can do that. Reb Nachman gives us confessions. Reb Nachman talks a lot about his own struggles. In the case of Reb Nachman, we see the tzaddik in the making. We see how he's struggling to become what he needs to become. We see how difficult it is. He must do battle constantly. He talks about how difficult it is. Now, another striking aspect of Reb Nachman's personality is that he likes very much to be alone, and he considers it vital to him that he should be able to spend time alone. For a while, when he lived with his in-laws, a dispute broke out between him and his mother-in-law because he insisted on being given a private room in the house that was only for him, not a room for him and his wife. He had to have a private room so that he could be alone in that room. And his mother-in-law didn't understand why he needed to have a private room. Reb Nachman considered it vital for his spiritual well-being that he have times when he can be alone and just talk to God and be close to God. His this, the matter of being alone. As a matter of fact, we think of Chassidish Rebbes as being, although we think of them as mystics and having their involved in their mystical activities, but we think of them as very social. Communal, involved with the community. They have a communal position. Reb Nachman was very torn about it. For a long time, he used to tell people not to come to him too much, only at certain times. He used to tell the Chassidim not to live. He used to tell his followers not to live in the town where he lived because he didn't want people coming to him too much and disturbing his meditations, detracting from his solitude. He felt that for the necessity of for his own spiritual development, it was necessary for him to keep people at a distance to a very significant extent. It was necessary for him to keep people at a distance to a very significant extent for the sake of his own spiritual development. So I have a sense of Reb Nachman that